Hello everyone, welcome to day 7 of Monkey's Advent Calendar Reviews. Today we're reviewing Transformers Kingdom Wave 1 Warpath. Warpath here was one of my earliest figures, and he was also my very first trade figure. If you all don't know what I mean by a trade figure, he was my very first figure I traded for. The figure I traded for Warpath was my Rhinox to my buddy, or better yet, my brother. I traded with my brother my Rhinox for his Warpath. Along that very same day, I also traded my Earthrise Optimus Prime for his Optimus Maximus combiner. Ooh, that was a good deal, you know. Yeah, just a little bit of history right there. Warpath here, though, was one of my earliest figures. I had a few other figures around that time. I had my knockoff Bruticus, the Combiner Wars one. I had that guy around that time. He came in a week after I did that trade for Warpath here, which is really cool. And now, looking back on it, I've had this figure since, let's see, late 2021, I believe. And it is currently nearing the end of 2025. Impressive how a collection can grow so much since then. It is honestly astonishing how much money I've spent in this hobby. I'm not sure if I should be ashamed or proud. We'll stick with a little bit of both. Because, my God, it's been too much money. Yeah, Warpath here is based off of his G1 appearance in the cartoon. As you can tell, some paint chipping has occurred. This figure, when I first got him, I could not put him down. This is honestly such a joy to handle. Yeah, all the red paint's starting to chip away from how much I've transformed him, but that's also just a testament to the absolute joy of this figure. This guy's transformation is that fun, to the point where I've continuously done this over and over again, to the point where the paint is starting to chip off and rub off. Now, it sucks that that's happening, considering that the finish on this guy was absolutely gorgeous when I first got my hands on him. But let it stand as a testament to the absolute joy that this single figure here brings. Warpath here, though, as I mentioned earlier, is based off his G1 appearance in the 84 cartoon. Let's see. 1986 was when the first film came out. Yeah, 1984. I believe it was Season 2, 1985, though, that we first saw Warpath. Yeah, Warpath here is honestly lovely. If you know anything about Warpath, he speaks a lot in, what's the word? Punctuations? No, 1 second. Nouns. Verbs? 1 second, I'm going to look it up real quickly. Okay, so, turns out I was just terribly wrong on all fronts. It's onomatopoeia. The main word for words that sound like the noises they describe is onomatopoeia, used for words like buzz, hiss, or thump. You see, Warpath's words was kablam, pow, and boom. Stuff like that. So yeah. Which makes sense. Warpath here is a tank, and honestly a really nice tank by those standards as well. This feels nice and dense. The underside, bit of parts forming with this piece right here, but even without it, the rest of the tank mode still looks quite nice. And honestly, I don't think they would have needed this piece. Yeah, the piece is nice and all, fills in this gap here, but without the piece, yeah, you have a bit of a gap, but doesn't really affect the stability. We will get into a few issues that I have, but for the most part, everything here is solid, tight, concise, and durable. And most importantly, he rolls quite well. There is some articulation that comes with the tank mode. The tank's turret can rotate all the way around. It could point up straighten that out just a touch. Look up that far, down that far. And that's about it for
articulation.
Warpath's tank mode, though, is wonderful. The panel lining, the vent details, the blast effects, the 3mm ports right here, here, and here, where he can accept blast effects or receive blast effects. For example, if I didn't lose my Slitherfang blast effect, I can make it look like he was getting shot at on tabs like this and this. And I have my blast effects put away. But if I didn't, I'd be plugging one right into this barrel right here for all you. So yeah. But with that all being said, we are now going to go into size comparisons. So yeah, Warpath here is part of a subclass of Autobots known as the Mini-Bots. And they've released a lot of Mini-Bots lately. So let's do size comparisons with all of his brethren. To start off with, we have to get the infamous one out of the way, Bumblebee. This here's 86 Bumblebee. Nice, chunky, and concise. Next one is 86 Warpath. Warpath, my god. 86 Brawn. Like that. Nice olive green colors. There you go. Get some more accurate sizes out of that. Next up is Legacy United Gears. Let's get these guys more in the middle for you. Next is Legacy Evolution Beachcomber. Next up is Legacy United Cosmos or Legacy Cosmos. Just depends on when you got this guy. For me, Legacy United. Scoot you up. And finally, a non-official mini-bot, but I count him. You know, he's about the same size as Bumblebee here. Waspinator from Age of the Primes. As you can see, that's how Warpath scales with all of his fellow mini-bots. Now let's grab all these guys out of here and start doing proper size comparisons. Alright, so for deluxe scale, we will bring in his fellow deluxe class, or fellow wave mate, or not wave mate, fellow line mate, the Walgreens exclusive Kingdom Red Alert. Let's see, where is he? There he is. I'm blind, apparently. We have Legacy, or not Legacy, Leader Class Springer. And, well, let's grab this guy. It's been a while since I've messed with him. Leader Class Scourge. We'll use Scourge for Leader Class for alt modes only. Dude's an absolute unit. And, because why not, Commander Class Optimus Prime. Quite a random selection of bots here for size comparisons. Oh, almost forgot. Can't forget him. Can't forget our core class representation. The scale might be gone, but hey, it's not gone in our hearts. So yeah, for core class, 86 Spike Witwicky. Now, let's start grabbing all of our little goobers out of here and get into the whole name of the line, the Transformation. Camera readjustment, as always. First thing you want to do, come to the underside and remove this shoulder shield, or pauldron, or backplate. Depends on where you put it. Next thing you want to do, come back here, bring this piece up, fold this in, then push it down, like so. Next thing, pull this piece out from the back of the turret, flip up Warpath's head, recollapse, then push the tank barrel in. If you try doing the tank barrel first of all, that's just ridiculous. If you try and do that like this, the head won't be able to come up at all because of the mechanism inside, like that, is going to prevent it. So you want to flip the head up first, then push the tank barrel in. And the piece that prevents it from flipping up is right here. This little block right here is what prevents the head from going up. So, head first, then barrel. Next thing you want to do is push right here. Pushes this entire assembly upward. Then you want to untap the arms. Slots right, there's, ooh, gotta make sure I get that on camera. Slots right here, go into these tabs right here. And you want to come to the sides and untab them from that, like so. So right here, untab, bend the arms, then fold these into the undersides of the forearms, and that just compresses it a little more. Next thing you want to do, bring the legs down, push this piece in, then fold this down and tab it in all the way. Flip this piece, push in, and fold down. Next thing you want to do is grab this, rotate this assembly that way, and collapse all this together like so. Same thing on the other side. Boom, bop, bada bop. La-dee-da. And finally, grab this piece, put it on the put it on the shoulder or back. Like I said, personal preference. I prefer it on the back. Makes the silhouette look kind of weird, but I also just like having stuff on the back. Feels a little more natural. But you could put it on the shoulder. Does limit articulation just a touch if you do that. Or the final option, wrist guard, which honestly works too. So yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and get the other guys transformed. I'll see you all in a few minutes. Goodbye. All right. After like 30 minutes of transformations. Got them all ready. Size comparisons and everything. Ready to go. Because, oh yeah. You know? Sorry, I'm not sure how loud that is compared to how I was about 30 minutes before I paused the video for you guys. Yes. To Warpath now. Warpath's head sculpt is very accurate to the cartoon, with a few additional details to kind of just make it look more realistic. Sticking with the sunbow designs, but still giving them the right amount of greeblings just to make it look lovely. I love these rivet details on the sides of the head. The slits through the mouth plate are nice. And this is one of the few Transformers I have in my collection that has a different set of different color eyes besides the traditional red or blue. With Warpath here being black. I don't have many other characters that have different color eyes. No, we have silver for visors, but those are pretty common. We occasionally get colors like purple, which I do like. I like purple eyes. Those are very nice looking. But it's nice getting a different set of colors. You know what I want though? I want this, but with yellow eyes. I want to see how that looks for an 86 Prime. I feel like that'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, that's besides the point. You know, we're here for Warpath. The sculpt and detail on the chest is beautiful. You can tell what parts are painted and what parts aren't. Pretty clearly too, actually. Dang. The rest of the figure is well sculpted. We have a bunch of more. We have many more panel lines, more rivets, more tread details. You know, all throughout. It's all here. It all looks lovely. Figure feels great. It's nice and solid. No, shake test will disprove that though. You know, the legs flop. They hold position though. You know, they're not drooping down. So you can still get good poses out of this guy, you know. Let's see. Do you think we can get this? Let's see. Hey, there you go. Yeah, say Warpath poses well. He's able to hold a pose really well too. So that's great to hear. Or I guess in your guys' case, really good to see. Warpath is a solid figure though. No backpack. No hollow spaces on this guy. Besides a bit here and on the forearms. But honestly, I can care less about the forearms. And the hollow spaces here are pretty ignorable, actually. Because you're going to be more focused on just messing with this guy than you are, oh, look at the hollow spaces. Nah. You know? No one gets a Transformer to be purely negative about it. People get Transformers of the characters they want. To be fair, there are some figures that really do suck. Legacy United Sideburn or Evolution's Shadow Striker, for example. Those figures are not great. They are not fun to transform. I won't lie. So there are some exceptions. Quite a few, now that I'm thinking about it. But for the most part, you don't get a figure because you know you're going to hate it. You get it because you know it's a figure of a character you want, and you want to try something out. Warpath here is one of those figures. No one really wanted, or people wanted a new Warpath. People did. No one really expected it to be amazing. But when Kingdom Warpath released, a lot of people were very pleasantly surprised. Because Kingdom Warpath is fucking goated. This figure feels great. It poses great. It looks great. This figure is very dynamic. And that's what I really like about Warpath here. He's a very dynamic figure. He feels wonderful in whatever pose you put him in. And speaking of poses, that leads into our next segment. Articulation. Head looks up that far, down that far, side to side, full 360. Arms go all the way around, up that far, down that far. Rotation at the elbows, perfectly 90-degree bend at the elbow. Remove the forearm guard. 360 rotation at the wrist. 360 rotation at the waist. If you move this out of the way, if you want it just to stay there, you only get about this much. But because this is obviously on a hinge, just woo, 360. If you pull the barrel out, you still get that movement from the tank mode. So, up, down, up, down, up, down. Let's push that back in, though. Legs can go up that far, back that far. If once you move this plate out of the way, legs can go back that far. If you leave it as is, though, legs will go back that far. But if you don't like the plate there at all, you can just remove it, and bam, legs go up that far. Out that far, 360 at the thigh. Knees bent slightly under 90, but that's fine. And some serious ankle pivots. There you go. And now, with that all being said, let's go into size comparisons. Woo! So, for size comparisons, we'll get all the mini bots out of the way first. One second. There you go. Straighten the legs out. Get Warpath as nice looking as ever. So, mini bots. Deluxe Cosmos. Deluxe Brawn. Oh. Don't want to knock the camera off the stand. Deluxe Beachcomber. Deluxe Bumblebee. Deluxe Gears. Oh, actually, we'll put Gears at the back here. And finally, Deluxe Waspinator. For our core class, Core Spike. For other deluxe classes, Kingdom Red Alert. For Voyager class, this is the only one I had already in robot mode next to me, so Evolution Twincast. And for, one second. For a leader class, we have Swoop. And commander class, Optimus Prime. Now, final thoughts. Should you get your hands on a Warpath? Honestly, yes. Warpath has been a very pleasant surprise for me throughout the years. Every time I get a new figure, I always have Warpath posed with them, or I always have Warpath on hand. You want to know why? Because Warpath is my standard. Warpath is a brilliant figure, great engineering, is overall just absolute hand candy, and it's just a overall really nice surprise. No one expected the mini-bot to be this fun, but then Warpath came along and blew the competition out of the water. He feels great, he poses wonderfully, and I do not regret trading. I traded Rhinox for Warpath, and I did not regret a single thing. And, eventually I ended up with Rhinox back. I traded a lot of Bayverse with my brother. I was getting out of City Series at the time, and Bayverse just was going off my shelves. So, yeah. He now has the Constructicons. Well, he has Mixmaster, Scavenger, and Scrapper, but that's it. Like I was saying, though, should you get Warpath? If you can find him for a good price and you feel like he's worth it to you, yes. Get Warpath or the Treads figure. Either one of the two molds are worth your money. Treads is the Decepticon Warpath, that shade of green. Treads is the one that came in that 3-pack of the GoBots with the Pathfinder, Treads, and what was the last one's name? Oh, that's gonna bother me. 1 second, I'm gonna look it up. Alright, I found it. It turns out the figure's name is Smallfoot. Yeah, I I sold my box set a while back. But yeah, that's the figure's name. Smallfoot, Treads, and Pathfinder. So yeah. Now, like I was saying, should you get your hands on Warpath? Honestly, as I said before already, yes, Warpath is worth the money. You will not regret buying him. Just make sure you get him for a price that feels fair to you. I would pay at most $50 for Warpath. That's if he's brand new in box. If Warpath is brand new sealed, I will gladly pay 50. If he's used, I'd pay Voyager price for him. Honestly, the engineering in itself made it feel. I thought he would have been worth that much after I got my hands on him. Because, this is when I was early into collecting. I didn't know prices, or I didn't know the classes too much. It wasn't until 22 that I realized my Times Return Soundwave was a leader class. And that's why he was so huge compared to everyone. But, yeah. With that all being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy, and have a happy holidays. See you all in tomorrow's video, and take care.